When I look for an arcade racer, I don't want realism. I don't want to worry about vehicle damage and shifting gears. I want driving in its purest sense, going fast, very fast. And I found it. Horizon Chase Turbo does just that. It's an extremely arcade racer with a highly stylized look. It can sometimes even degrade to bumper cars. Still, I am enjoying my time exploring all the content inside this game. So it's pretty much a racing game. Go as fast as possible and pass everyone. It's really as simple as that. You want to come in first. The driving feels great, but there's no strategy to it. You can easily jump from each side of the track, even during turns. The boost is more speed, plain and simple. Each race you start with 3 boosts, and on some tracks you can pick up more. I would say you need to carefully select where to boost, but honestly, I'm not so sure. As long as you stay on the track when you use it, you'll probably be fine. Bumping into other cars is little more than an annoyance, unless you keep doing it over and over again. If that happens, it's your fault for not being able to pass, but damn if that's not frustrating. You can easily get stuck behind other drivers, and it will ruin your race. There's some weird arcade physics here where you bump into the back of the car and it pushes them forward and you back. But it goes both ways, and I've gotten some pretty good pushes. Arcade-style driving isn't for everybody, but it's fun for me since it's a test of my reflexes. I feel myself getting better at driving as I get used to the game. Making those tight turns and narrowly passing other drivers feels great. Initially, you start with 2 of the 31 cars unlocked. However, the game is pretty good about giving you more cars as you go. And that is if you're winning. Each car has its own stats. They focus on different styles of play. The stats are top speed, acceleration, handling, fuel, and nitro. All fairly standard for a racing game, except fuel. That's the interesting one, because as you race, your car will need fuel to keep going. Just like a real car. The tracks have gas cans scattered throughout that luckily will be the same on each lap. They're not always the best racing lines, so it's a choice if you go for it or not. Or maybe a car will block you from reaching it. It's an interesting idea, but if you're careful, it's never something that will be a problem. Horizon Chase Turbo is generous enough that when you get low on fuel, it even shows you on the map where the fuel is. Each location in the world has a bonus track that upon completion, you're offered 3 choices of upgrades. The upgrades have 2 stats on them, but most of the time you'll be looking to upgrade just one and the other is just kind of bonus. I haven't found a way to reset or change my mind on the upgrades, so pick carefully. Since you'll be grabbing 12 different upgrades throughout your travels, they're not huge increases, but it does add up over time. Now, I'm pretty sure these upgrades control the difficulty of the game. Yes, going faster will help you get around the track faster, which will improve your personal best, but in terms of beating the AI, that's not how it works. They seem to keep up with you no matter how fast you're going. This idea is reinforced since in the tournament mode, cars get a flat stat upgrade per difficulty. Anyway, there's just so much content in Horizon Chase Turbo that it's incredible. The World Tour is the main game mode. You travel to different locations, racing in a collection of tracks at each, which means there are plenty of locations and tracks. Each location has its own unique look, which keeps the races from getting stale. There's also a tournament mode where you race in a set of 4 tracks that you get points for depending on where you place. No surprises there. There's an endurance mode too. Also good to know that you can play local multiplayer up to 4 people in any of these modes. The progress mechanics revolve around collecting coins. The main way to get coins is finishing first in a race, and that makes a lot of sense in a racing game. Another way to collect them is around the track. The last way is to finish a race with extra gas in the tank. You need to collect a certain amount of coins to unlock new cars and locations. I was unlocking them pretty quickly and even had new locations open before I finished the old ones. So I think if you don't want to 100% a location and just explore, it's possible. One of the things that makes this game so unique is the art style. Come on, just look at these graphics. It's such a cool design. They call it 16-bit graphics reinvented, which, yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. It often reminds me of Outrun, but with its own unique flair. The bright colors too, I love them. I'm happy they opted for a more cartoon style that makes the game special. Also, the cars you race against aren't generic and boring, which helps a lot when you start a fictional rivalry with the Crimson Chief. Even with all the content that's included in the game, you'll get the most out of it if you want to top the global leaderboards. Not only do you race against the time, but the ghost is included too. Your own ghost is saved as well, but that's nothing compared to racing against the top of the leaderboards. Racing against that ghost always pushes me a little bit harder to come in first. So I don't think it's required, but it wouldn't hurt if you wanted to be the best. So let's get this out of the way. Yes, this was a mobile game first on iOS. No, I don't think that matters much. Playing with the controller feels great, and I wonder how the hell is anyone playing this on an iPhone anyway? I get none of the standard mobile feelings from playing, and I only stumbled across the mobile version in my research. This is a solid game here, and I'm glad it got a larger release. I hinted at this earlier, but I noticed something while playing. There's no way to dominate this game. The game doesn't let you come in first until the final lap. Now that doesn't mean it's easy, and you can definitely blow your lead. It just means that the car in first will not be slower than you until the last lap. It's noticeable enough for me that I started testing my theory. This didn't stop me from enjoying the game because it still takes skill. When under pressure on the last lap in second, just try not to crash or keep ramming the back of the car. But it's a little less satisfying that you're not racing against the AI directly. On the other hand, it keeps the races interesting because if you blow it on that last lap, you're not coming in first. I've played far too many racing games where I'm miles ahead of everyone, and while that's fun at first, it gets boring quick. Overall, Horizon Chase Turbo is a fairly normal arcade racer with great handling. What makes it above average is its wonderful style. I mean, the crap ton of levels and tracks doesn't hurt either. I had a blast racing through this world, and I recommend this if you're like me and sometimes enjoy a racer with tons of speed, even if it's not the most real experience. You know, sometimes Project Cars is just too much to handle. Thanks for watching.